You are not broken. You're either operating at a higher level or you're fighting your own mind. Psychology explains it. Faith corrects it. Let's see which one applies to you. Most people think genius looks confident, loud, and socially impressive, but Scripture and psychology both suggest something different. The world celebrates noise, but depth is usually quiet and sometimes misunderstood. Let's test something uncomfortable. You get bored faster than others. Psychology says high cognitive processing speed makes repetitive environments feel draining. Your brain finishes early, the room doesn't. But here's something deeper. In Book of Proverbs 18:15 it says, "The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge." A discerning mind constantly seeks growth. So when conversations stay shallow, your spirit feels unstimulated. It's not pride, it's hunger. But hunger must be disciplined. Otherwise, boredom turns into frustration instead of growth. 2. You question rules others accept. Psychology calls this independent cognitive reasoning. You don't obey blindly, you evaluate. But Scripture also says in book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 21, "Test everything. Hold on to what is good." Notice it doesn't say reject everything. It says test. There's a difference between rebellion and discernment. Genius questions, but wisdom filters. 3. You talk to yourself. Psychologists link self-talk to advanced mental simulation. You rehearse decisions internally. You analyze scenarios. But the Bible calls this something powerful: meditation. In book of Joshua chapter 1 verse 8 it says, "Meditate on it day and night." Talking to yourself can either become anxiety or intentional reflection aligned with truth. The difference is what voice you allow to lead. 4. You feel out of place. You see patterns others ignore. You sense contradictions. You feel different. Psychology links this to high cognitive awareness, but Scripture reminds us in book of Romans chapter 12 verse 2, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world." Sometimes feeling different isn't social failure, it's spiritual separation. But isolation becomes dangerous if it turns into superiority. Depth requires humility. 5. You doubt yourself more than others do. Psychology calls this intellectual humility. The more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know. And Scripture confirms this in James chapter 1 verse 5. "If any of you lacks wisdom, ask God." Real intelligence recognizes limitation. Arrogance claims certainty. Humility seeks guidance. Genius doesn't always look powerful. It looks reflective, restless, sometimes misunderstood. But here's the warning. Intelligence without alignment with God becomes pride. Awareness without truth becomes anxiety. Depth without discipline becomes chaos. If you recognized yourself in these traits, don't label yourself gifted. Ask yourself, is your mind being renewed or just overstimulated? This is Renew Your Mind, where psychology meets truth. If you're ready to think deeper, subscribe.